I think probably the biggest strength in the kitchen is experience. Not that I've really had experience as far as, professionally in the kitchen or anything like that, but I've actually been cooking for over 40 years. I actually started when I was 7 years old at my grandmother's house, and I've been cooking ever since. I really always wanted to do it, but just never had the time or the money to do it. And opportunity just came up recently with being unemployed and stuff like that, and was offered to come to school to be retrained for a career, and I jumped on the opportunity. It really worked out well. Yeah, I started college right after school, and it just didn't work out. I ended up getting married and stuff like that, and I was working for a factory, and they closed and sent all the jobs to Mexico. So because of that, I got the opportunity to have my schooling paid for by being retrained, and made it work out because it's something I've always wanted to do, but just never had the opportunity to, so it's worked out great. It seems like that whenever we're in groups in the labs and the cooking classes and stuff like that, it seems like everyone, I don't know if it's just because of my age or my experience or whatever, but it seems like everyone tries to, well, let's get Larry to do it, he can do it all. Yeah, you work in teams. Basically, your menu or the things you're going to prepare for that day, they pretty much divide it out so everyone takes a certain part of the menu or stuff like that and prepare. A lot of times it's based on what you're comfortable with and stuff like that, so it kind of works out to your advantage if you're stronger in one area than the other. But you try to go into every avenue, get experience in stuff that you don't have experience in also. If you don't have good communication, I mean, someone can get hurt, really bad, walking around. You always need to, if you're walking around with a knife or something like that, you have to announce yourself and stuff. So you have to have good communication, or someone could definitely get hurt in a kitchen situation. I can work in any situation, I think. I noticed that I think ultimately I like to have my own restaurant, where I can be in total control stuff, but I don't have a problem working in a fast-paced situation. Actually, right now I'm doing an internship at Wilmington College, and part of the stuff they've had us do is prepare the total lunch for the whole school and dinner. And the other day I had to prepare every dinner item on the menu for 356 people. So, and you got, from start to finish, you basically start at 2 hours before they start to serve, and then you have to keep up through the service. So basically in a 4-hour period, you're preparing meals for 360 people. Like I said, I do have experience in the kitchen, although it's not on a professional level, actually professionally trained or anything like that, but AI has given me the extra things that I've needed besides my experience, which basically is more country home cooking type stuff by working with my grandmother and stuff like that for years. It's given me the other avenues, the other types of cuisines and stuff like that that I wouldn't have typically had the opportunity to make. So it's definitely, filled out my resume a lot better, or whatever you'd say, just to, gives me the experience in the other, aspects of culinary that I did not have before. Like I said, every Sunday, my mom and dad got a divorce when I was young, 2 or 3 years old, and every Sunday, instead of going to see my dad, because he lived out of state, my grandmother come and got me every Sunday. So it was that was our little thing to do every Sunday, spend time in the kitchen and stuff like that. And it was never like everything in school was recipes. Everything she ever had was, you don't measure anything. It's like, you throw this, you throw that, and it's perfect every time. There's several different styles. There's what they call the country club style, where everything's thrown on a plate, and stuff like that. But then there's the finer dining establishments where, everything's built up. It's like the plate is the picture frame, and you center your dish in the center of the plate, and instead of building out to the edges, you keep everything pretty much to the center and you build up. And it just, some of these plates, I mean, that's one of the biggest things I had a problem with probably from the beginning. I can cook, and every chef I've ever had, never had a problem with the taste of my food. The presentation was probably the hardest thing I've got, had to get over, because I'm the type of person, as you can see, I like to eat, and it's like I put as much on the plate as possible, and that's not the way you do it. The thing that finally, I guess, come across, more than anything, Chef B, after, all the classes and stuff like that, about you're putting too much on the plate, you're putting too much. Chef B finally explained it to me, plate like you're feeding your 95-year-old grandmother. And that finally made sense to me. Like I said, I've been cooking since I was 7 years old. I've been married for 30 years, and I've cooked every meal that's ever been cooked in our house. That's just who I am, and I just love to cook. And like my wife said, I don't know how you stand to do this all the time, I love to eat your food, don't get me wrong, but I could not cook every day like this. I said, I know, that's why I do it.
That's a wrap.